All right, some may say it's a sad day, but some may say that's the part that I needed. So basically acquired this car, so let's go over it. I'm going to show you why it's something that I'm not going to fix, and what parts are good, and just testing them out, stuff like that. So here we go. Let's kind of do like a quick walk around. Fender here has a dent. OEM fender, probably usable. I'm not a fan of painted wheels. I'd rather see these things silver, but we got some decent tires. Door looks like it's okay here. This one looks like it's okay. If you take a look, you can see just how bad. All right, I'm gonna pull that off. We're gonna come back to it. We have some bubbles here. All right, I'll tell you why I got that apart here in a minute. The taillights are actually pretty nice in this. It does have the aftermarket center. The wing, I don't know, I guess somebody tried patching it up here at one time. Looks like it had the clear coat coming off, so somebody sprayed something on it. The rear bumper, other than being folded, we'll have to see if we have any melt spots here where the exhaust was touching a little bit, but the rear bumper cover is definitely usable. It's black underneath, so I would think that this might have been bumped in the rear. Hard to say. More rust through here, more rust here, coming inside. Usually the door starts to rust. By the way, painted black wheel, decent tires. All right, none of the window moldings are any good. Here's our front door. I've actually seen some rust up in the front here on some of these. The dash pad is actually pretty good. I mean, you know, nice set of cheap seats if you wanted to get something reupholstered a different way, or if you needed brackets, or etc, etc. This stuff is pretty decent for that. That's just starting to go. So the armrest pad's no good. The center bezel here looks okay. I won't know till I get it apart to see if anything's damaged. It did have a pretty new AEM wideband. I pulled the speakers out of this car to actually put into another vehicle. I needed them because there was no radio in that car and we were doing a restoration. Passenger fender looks actually pretty nice. Hopefully when we pop these side skirts off, we don't have no rust. The front bumper cover is actually pretty nice. Overall, it's pretty complete, except for we got a crack here. I've seen this lots of times. These are easily repairable. Since you can't get these bumpers no more, that one's definitely a fixer. The fog lights look good. It has the screens in it. The nostrils are nice. The aftermarket headlights are actually pretty decent. The hood, on the other hand, has no dents, but if we take a look at it, we've got some bubbly going on here. So it's pretty extensive here on the inside. I've seen worse, and I've seen cars with this fixed. The scoop is actually really nice. Looks like it's never been messed with. Still has both tabs on it. Motor here, it did have a cold air kit. I have that off somewhere. Upper and lower motor mounts that look like they've been on here for a long time. I think this one is, I think this is an 05. So we got that. It had an MPX catch can, usable. It has a hard pipe with an HKS blow-off valve. Works, actually not bad. The motor does run. It does shift through the gears with no problems. There's no issues there. It has an ACT clutch that was installed that's older. I actually just viewed that through the window down there, and on down here. So let's take a look. Yeah, another tear here. They got some zip ties holding it in. This piece is actually still on the car. There's our lower mount. Looks like somebody did some bushings at one time. This stuff is pretty rusty, guys. Looks like this was replaced at one time because that's different. Does have an MPX exhaust on it with a 3-inch elbow, and it does have BC coils. Now, they look a little rough from the bottom, but this thing does have the rear camber plates on, so they'll be usable for something. There's a lot of small stuff here on this car that is usable, that will help put together other SRT4s, or that were damaged, or stuff that needs parts. So let's fire this thing up. I'm just gonna let the camera sit here. I'm gonna start this thing up and let it run for a couple minutes. We're gonna run it through the gear, show that the transmission is working, show that the shifter cables are good, all that type of stuff. Quick blips. Blip on something, I call it a blip. Just real quick, tapping on the throttle like that. If you've got an engine that has a rod problem, you're gonna hear it. Alright. So the wheels are spinning. That does happen when it is in neutral. So let's get in here. Car's showing 142,800. The speedometer is moving because that's just the input shaft moving. There's no load on the tire, so that it does spin. So put this in first gear, we'll let it out. Second, third, fourth. Nothing's popping out now. I know it's good. I did actually drive this car on the road. Maybe put like 3 or 4 miles on it before I bought it from the seller, and kind of took it for a drive to check it out to make sure that everything was good with it. So like I said, there's some stuff in here. There's a boost gauge. The AFR gauge, I believe, has a LED out. Yeah, you can see it there on the end. So I don't know if that really is going to affect normal use. So it's still good and readable. The dash pad in this car is actually pretty nice. And there was one more thing that was pretty surprising to me. If you look up here, what don't you see? Okay. Now, with that kind of being said, I'm thinking about actually topping this car because the roof structure actually looks pretty good. All right. So if someone wanted to delete said sunroof, you know, you would need to have your rear and front windows removed, but these attach pretty easy. Come on. All right, let's get one pulled back here. So these have a pinch weld here. You can see where they are welded together to the inner structure. So if someone wanted to, they could totally eliminate the sunroof, which I mean, I try to save every part that I can. So we're gonna be saving that. Let's take a look. Let's pull this junk format out, and definitely the carpet in this car is no good, so we don't have a good carpet. A little bit of change down there, but so we have that stuff. Looks like it's okay. The pod, like I said, steering wheel's kind of not bad, usable, I guess, if you needed one. Like I said, I did throw some stuff into the trunk. Like I said, there was the BCs. Let's get this trunk pop, take a look quick. We did have the owner's manual in here. All right, so the owner's manual was in the car, so I'll have that. There was a little speaker box in here with an amp. I think I found a use for this just for the time being. Jack pack was in here. Pretty decent looking in trunk carpet in here, which I'll be pulling and keeping this. And like I said, the coilovers do have the camber plates on the top, so that's a pretty decent find there if you needed a set. Obviously, I've already got 2 sets, so I don't need them. So that'll be up for grabs. So basically, with that being said, we got a good motor, we got a good trans. We know the ECM is good. I know all the door locks all match. I tried them. We got a good dash pad, good thing. Good shifter cables, good throttle cable. Yeah, good motor. You know what I mean? Just the small, simple things that are pretty decent are okay on this. Was a recently replaced coil pack, so that's a newer Mopar coil. Here's the numbers for that. So I mean, that's good. And like I said, it sucks that like this stuff here needs repaired, and then we have that big rust. So I'm gonna pull that tape off and I'll just show you just how bad this stuff is. All right, so this is what we uncovered under this tape. All right, there's nothing here. All right, somebody tried. Nasty dust. All right, and then we got, okay. So we poked at this, we have this, like you can see, we got all that. Like I said, this goes, where are we at? Right here. This goes right in here. Okay. Nothing's here. All right, nothing. All right, that one's done. That's gone right here. Okay, here's this one. Old pinch rail. It's all rotted out. All the way out through. Okay. Something like this. This is a very extensive fix. Okay. It's not easy to repair something like this. All right, so that's just that side. I know. I wanted to see up in here. Normally these things here are really rusty. This one here, I don't see no holes. Could be cleaned up. But I could tell looking at this. This is bent down here like this. Okay, like I said, this was replaced. There's probably the VIN numbers up in here. I could probably verify that. So, like I said, you have. I mean, this stuff here is okay. Like, that's not. This is not bad. You know, you could clean that up and get that straightened out and actually do something with it. This is from the passenger side. All right, now here's something. There's a little hole right here, okay, that always gathers up dirt and stones and everything right here. That causes the moisture to hold, and then it rusts in here. There's these little holes here in your pinch rail. They should be blown out with air, and then that will help keep them from getting as rusty as what they do, along with the stuff in the front, which I go over that in a complete video. All right, let's check this side out. Now, this one here, I'm hoping you can see we got bubbles. We got a whole bunch of bubbles here. So, just real easy. Okay, now, you know, this is good metal here, and if you hit this, see, no problems. That's a solid piece of metal. And like I said, then you have this. Just because it looks like it's a little bit of bubbles on the outside doesn't mean it's something that's simple. I mean, you've seen that was just a little bit of bubbles. All right, now there's some of you, there's actually some of you out there that would say, you know, this thing is fixable. And trust me, I'd love to put them all back together. This part, the structural part here, is no longer available new. The stuff is hard to find that it's not rusted. If you have one at this point and you have everything else and the car is just nice enough, I highly recommend trying to find one of these that has no rust and buying that, and then taking it and stripping it down and painting it, because the amount of money you would pay a body shop to fix these two sides, you can easily do that. Or buy a regular neon with no rust. Now this one here, I'm not going to try taking this off, but we have rust there. There's nothing here in the middle of this. I'm just making a giant mess here. This side is way worse in the rocker. Just see how bad it is when we shut the door. See? This side's way worse than the other side. So, just a real quick walk around, just checking out what's good, checking out what's bad, and checking out why this car is nothing but parts. See you in the next one.